there are two ideas in the Bhagavad Gita which have appealed to me very strongly in the past many years. One idea that comes everywhere in all the scriptures, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, and the Puranas and other teachings of all other saints, is that this whole universe which we are experiencing in our through our minds and sense organ is nothing other than the ultimate reality called Brahman in the Upanishads. That in the Vedas, in the earliest scriptures, in the Upanishads, everywhere, that idea comes in everywhere, in Bhagavad Gita also. Very succinctly, Upanishad says in only 3 or 4 words, Sarvam Kalavidam Brahma. Idam Sarvam, this whole universe, Brahma Kalu, Brahma alone. There are no two separate things. Philosophers have different views. They have come up with so many different views, and we don't want to get into philosophy. So philosophy is good, but it has limitations. According to the Upanishads, this whole universe is Brahman alone, Brahma eva. So that means only one reality is there. Two infinities cannot exist. And they say, the teachers have said, you are seeing the same thing, but for some reason which cannot be fully understood or explained, we are perceiving it as the world. That is the view of monistic Advaita philosophy. One reality alone is there. This idea comes in many ways, in many forms, throughout all the scriptures. Since you are studying the Bhagavad Gita, trying to understand as much as we can to our limited extent, I noticed that this idea that one reality alone is there, that alone appears as the world, as all these things that we are perceiving, names and forms, people, animals, plants, things, this planet, other planets, stars and whatever. That keeps recurring in many places in the Bhagavad Gita. Somehow that has, I'm very impressed by that idea. It has made some impression on my mind. That all this is only Brahman. But Brahman cannot be explained. What is it? Is pure consciousness. There is beyond the domain of the mind. You cannot think about Brahman, conceptualize in way Brahman things in our mind. We cannot grasp it, and much less can we explain it in speech, in words. That is also explained in the scriptures. Manovacham agocharam. Manas, what? Mind and speech cannot capture it, explain it. So how to know it is there? If we cannot think in our minds, if we cannot see it or with our sense organs or explain it in words, so how do we know it is the truth? So they say that it cannot be known as some idea or object, it has to be experienced, anubhava. Anubhaveka vedyam can be known only by experiencing it. And how to gain experience, how to know that all this is, including me, is Brahman alone? Upanishad says, I am Brahmasmi Tattvamasi, like that. Mahavakyas are there. But those are only, that's only second-hand information. Upanishad means what the rishis have said based on their experience. But for me, it has to become the truth. I have to experience it. How to do that? For that, scriptures and teachers have shown many different ways. That is one very special feature of our Sanatana Dharma, Hindu Dharma, that people can reach the same goal by following different paths. Plurality of paths. That is something that is very, I can say, even unique to our Dharma. Other faiths, they don't, they say this is the only way. We say as many ways as there are seekers. Sri Ramakrishna said, there's as many ways as there are seekers. Jato mod tato path. In Bengali he said. How can there be so many different ways to reach the same goal? If the goal is the same, if the truth is one, if people go in different directions, how can they reach the same truth? That question comes. That can be explained. This is all theory. So far only we are talking about theory. What is in the books, what people have said. That can be explained by giving some examples. So one example is, if people are traveling in different directions, somebody going this way, somebody going this way, looking for the same goal, same destination, how can they all reach the same destination? To explain that, they give the example of a big circle. This just to give us some idea. That's a plurality of paths, that's all. It does not do anything more. If you imagine a big circle, there is only one center, no matter how big the circle is. But circumference can be big or small. Small circle, small circumference, big circumference. And the circumference is like a line made up of points. Infinite number of points are there. From every point on the circumference, only one radius can be drawn connecting that point to the circle. There's a unique radius from every point on the circumference of the circle connecting that point to the center. So if you imagine that seekers are all points along the circumference. One seeker is standing at the top of the circle and he has to reach the same, one goal is the same, center is the goal, everybody has to reach the center. They're all different points, starting points. One person is starting at the top, he is at point, the starting point is the top, and his goal is to go to the center. So he has to go downwards. That radius, starting from the top point on the circumference, connects to the center by drawing the radius downwards. And one person is standing in the east, this side, and he has to reach the same center. Goal is the same for everybody, no matter where you start. So he has to travel from that direction to this way, like this. Another person is here somewhere, in the west side. His goal is the same center, so he has to travel this way. The person standing below, at the bottom of the circle, he has to go upwards. They are all traveling in different directions. At the starting point, they are all separate from each other. He's there, 180 degrees away, opposite direction. He's there, he is there, far away. And they are disputing. This person is saying, you have to go this way. If you travel this way, never reach the goal. You are going the opposite direction. This person top says, you have to go downwards, you are coming upwards, how can you reach? You are going in different directions, how can we reach same? They are arguing. So the teachers have said, wait a minute, everybody wants to reach the same goal, they're all in different places. Don't say anything to anybody else. You just travel in your own way. You go downwards, let him go upwards. If he's going in the opposite direction, don't let him go, don't worry about it. Wait, be patient. As they start their journey and make some progress, and make some more progress, they're coming closer and closer. And they also reach the goal. Oh, you are here. I thought you were going upwards. I also came here. Also, everybody converges at the same. Apparently, they are traveling in different directions. But if they stop arguing and simply continue in their own path, eventually they will converge and they say, oh, you are here. I thought you were going the opposite direction. They say like that. So scriptures and teachers are saying, though other people are traveling, even within our dharma, we don't have to go to other faiths. Within our own Hinduism, so many different paths are there. So the best thing the teacher has said is to stop all argument, which path is better, which is the way, and simply make progress in the way that comes to you naturally, that's closest to you, which you think is good for you. Travel, keep traveling. When you converge towards the goal, you see other people also coming closer to you, they are getting closer. You are so far away in starting point, they are getting closer. They are all one, all the same goal. So that is one idea in Hindu Dharma. Plurality of paths, unity of goal. That's why we don't want people to argue which path is better. Let each person follow his path. Peacefully pursue your own faith, whatever you are. That's one idea that is interesting. Now to reach the goal, many paths are there. How to choose which is best for me? That is second question. How to choose which path is best for me? Some people know, some people need some guidance. Those who know, they have no question, they keep doing their journey, traveling, there's no question there. But those who need some guidance, which way should I go? So many teachers are there within Hinduism. Bhakti Marga, Vichara Marga, Karma Yoga, this and that, so many Kriya Yoga, so many new yogas are coming. So many new yogas are coming now. Which one? So we have in the Upanishads, we have the idea of a guru, which is very strong, powerful idea in Hinduism, idea of guru. So even the Upanishad says, the proper way to receive guidance in our spiritual journey is to approach a guru. One Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad says, that vijnanartham, to know that ultimate truth, that means that ultimate truth, Brahma. You can call God instead, doesn't matter. To know God, Gurumeva abhigachet, one has to approach a guru. Like this, many places in the Upanishad, the role of a guru is mentioned. Gita also it is mentioned. In the 4th chapter, there is a shloka that you have to approach a guru if you need to. Some people don't need a guru, that we are not concerned with that. If you have no problem, they don't have a solution. We don't need a solution. If you have a question. So that guru idea has come. Then, after deciding with the help of a guru what path to follow, the guru will guide you depending on his understanding of our propensities, abilities, our need. They'll say this is the path for you. That is the idea in the Upanishad and the Gita and other scriptures, Puranas also. In the Bhagavad Gita, some ideas are given how to reach the goal of knowing God, achieving Brahmajnana, self-knowledge, or in whatever way you want to call it, many different ways. In the traditional scriptures, many different paths are mentioned to reach the same goal. 4 major paths are prominent. Other paths are there. These are not, it's not complete, but 4 major things are there. 4 kinds of worship. The first one, most familiar to most people, to seek knowledge of God, is ritualistic worship. Hinduism is very big on ritualistic worship. Other faiths don't do that much. That we should not go into other faiths because it makes too complicated, not necessary. We just stick to Hinduism. And I don't know also anything about other faiths. So we stick to Hinduism. In our dharma, 4 traditional paths are mentioned. First one is ritualistic worship. Most familiar. Pratima puja. Pratima means a representation. It can be an image, like Ganesh image is there. It can be a photograph or a painting or some image made of some clay or gold or silver or some alloy or wood or something, some image. It can be with a anthropomorphic form, like Rama as a human being, Krishna as a human being, like that. Or it can be some formless aspect, like Shivalinga or Saligrama. No particular shape or form, formless. Or it can be composite, like Narasimha, Hanuman, like that. There's all different ways. Why? We don't want to go into that question. Let it be. We choose only one form to worship. So offering ritualistic worship, there are so many different puja paddhatis, different streams of worship. So many different ways of ritualistic worship are there. Mantras are different. Vedokta puja is there, Vedic mantras, and Purana have mantras, and other teachers have specified mantra. Tantra puja is there, different mantras, different procedures, different things. So it's such a huge, detailed Shastra. Ritualistic worship is a very detailed, elaborate science in itself. That there also we have so many choices which way to worship, that we can make that choice. That is one. Ritualistic worship, Pratima Puja. Now that requires materials, paraphernalia. For the simplest worship also we need 4 or 5 things. We need a Pratima is to be there. And then we need fruits and flowers, candle paste, incense, deepa, some food, some things are necessary. Oftentimes mantra is chanted. That mantra can generally is in Sanskrit, but other languages also mantra can be chanted. All these are necessary for ritualistic worship, Pratima Puja. That's one way, we can do that. Or either in place of ritualistic worship, or in addition to that, we can do a second kind of worship. Second kind of puja is Japa Stotra Adi Madhyama. Japa Stotra. Each one of them is a huge field in itself. Japa means repetition of God's name, any name. All names are names of only one God. We believe that one. Like one person can have many different names. God has numerous names, infinite number of names. Any name of God, japa, repetition of that, is itself in itself a complete independent, complete spiritual practice. It can be done by itself without anything else. Or it can be combined with ritualistic worship and other things, other kinds of worship. Japa stotra. Stotra means chanting or singing God's names and glories. For japa, sometimes people use a mantra also. Mantra repetition is in very major part in Hinduism, our spiritual life. To a small extent, it is in Christianity also. But let us leave other things alone. Let us confine our attention to our dharma. So mantra can be, there are not hundreds but thousands of mantras are there in our tradition. Very, very rich. One thing that impresses me more and more is our Sanatana Dharma, Hindu Dharma, whatever you call, is undoubtedly the richest spiritual heritage. So much we have, so many paths, so many teachers, so many scriptures, so much teaching, so many ways take us to God. This richness, this variety cannot be seen anywhere else. So many mantras are there. Some are generally known mantras like Gayatri mantra, everybody knows. Anybody can repeat Gayatri mantra. Like that, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, like this, so many well-known mantras are there. There are some very specialized mantras which are not publicized. It's given in secret to teacher, to the student qualifies to special. And all in between mantras are there. Prescription mantras and over-the-counter mantras are there. The Guru prescribes a mantra, or he can choose a general mantra. By repeating that mantra or God's name, mantra may generally include name also. That alone can take us to God. Japa. Stotra means chanting or singing in music, devotional songs, or chanting stotras. Singing devotional songs which we do now in bhajan itself can be a total spiritual practice. Some saints in India have, only by singing devotional songs, they have achieved the goal of God realization. They did not do anything, they did not do Pratima Puja, they did not do anything else. The whole life they sang devotional songs like Mirabai, Purandaras Das, all the people. They only sang devotional songs all their life. That's all they did. That alone took them to God. That is the itself a path, stotra. That is one path. Or you can combine japa and stotra. You can combine ritualistic puja, pratima puja, japa, stotra. Any combination or any one by itself, that is the variety, richness. So that is second. Japa, stotra. Stotras are in many languages, need not be only in Sanskrit. Any language in India, if you take, there are hymns are there composed by saints in that part of the country. In all parts of India, in all languages, in all centuries, numerous saints, teachers have composed hymns, devotional songs. It is our choice. Which language is stotra? You can chant Hanuman Chalisa, you can chant Lilita Sahasranama, you can chant Vishnu Sahasranama, you can chant Samastotra or Durga Saptashati. So much variety is impossible to describe it. So much richness is there. So we can choose what we like to chant. Japa Stotra, Pratima Puja, Japa Stotra. Then, for a smaller audience, there is the third one is Manasi Puja. Manasi Puja means there is no ritualistic worship, no image, no puja, no flower, no mantra. There is no japa stotra. All happens in the mind. You can do it anywhere, any place. In your mind, you worship God. There are also variety. You can worship God with form, without form, meditate on formless aspect. You meditate on God with form. That is so much variety within that Manasi Puja, Uttama Manasi Puja. So three things we have seen. Pratima Puja, Japa Stotra, Manasi Puja. Manasi puja does not require anything external. Anywhere it can be done, but it's a little bit more difficult because mind has to be concentrated. Fourth one is there. That is even more difficult. Only a few people can do it. That is, as the Upanishad says, I am that ultimate reality. Aham Brahmasmi. Mahavakya. I and you, God, are not different. In the first three, separation is there. I am the worshipper, I am the devotee, and I am worshipping Ganesha or Vishnu or Rama or Krishna or Rama. That separation is there. Worshipped and worshipper. That in the fourth kind of worship, that separation is not there. I merge in Him. I am a separate being. I am not there at all. Only He is there. I am He. Aham Brahmasmi. Soham. I am He. Sa is I. Puja. That is fourth. That is not recommended, difficult. Those who can do, they can do. These are the four traditional ways of reaching God, reaching the goal. Many different ways. Each has subdivisions. Correct. Now, in some of the Puranas, in Bhagavata, which is also a Purana also, and in the Bhagavad Gita, a fifth kind of worship has been mentioned, which is what I want to focus on now. The fifth kind of worship is very nicely described in the Bhagavad Gita by Bhagavan Sri Krishna. That was picked up by Swami Vivekananda later, more recently. He emphasized that one more than the other four methods. He spoke about everything, mostly about meditation also he spoke a lot, but he mentioned this as the very suitable one for majority of people, fifth kind of worship. And that is very easy to follow. Does not require any special equipment or knowledge or preparation. There Sri Krishna has mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, we take two ideas from different parts of the Gita and combine them into the fifth kind of worship. One is, which I already mentioned, that the same divine presence is in all. Whole universe is divinity itself, appearing as one. That means in simpler terms, same God is present in all. God is present in all. God is present in all. One idea we take from the Gita. It comes from Upanishad everywhere. Gita is our main source of study for us, accessible. There throughout the Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna has said, I am present in all, God is present in all. Many places, we all know that one because it keeps coming in our classes every month. That idea we take. Now, the fifth kind of worship Sri Krishna has mentioned is, if you see His presence in all, and if you want to worship Him, you can serve any being in this universe, you are serving Him because He is present in all. If you do any kind of good deed, worship is a good deed. Worship means something you do out of love, of devotion. What is worship? Doing something out of to express our love without expecting anything in return. That is worship. So in the Gita, Sri Krishna has said, if you do some good thing to somebody, it can be anybody, or it can be anything. It need not be a person also, because He is present in all. Animate and inanimate, whole universe is He alone. He is present in all. Seeing His presence, if you do something with somebody or something, that is same as worship. You are worshipping, it reaches Him. Your service, your love reaches Him. That can be worship. He doesn't explain in detail, but he simply says, if you do something to somebody, if you do any work at all, then if you do it as worship with love, as offering, then you are worshipping him always. It's not unique to Gita, it's in other saints also. Shankaracharya also said that one. Gita it is made more specific, more explicit. So that sloka which we studied yesterday, morning and evening, in different places, it has come many times before. Sudhaji can remember how many countless number of times I have referred to that passage in Gita. That is, if you do any service, any work as worship to anything or anybody, then you are worshipping. That becomes worship. So that idea can be practiced by anybody. No requirement, no prerequisite is there. You don't need to know anything. Because all of us are doing something always work. We are always doing something. So since you are always doing something, if you do it as worship, then you are worshipping God always. Nothing can be simpler than this. And all this comes from only one line in the Gita. 700 slokas, one half of one sloka is enough to get this idea. There Bhagavan Sri Krishna has said in the 18th chapter, which came yesterday in both morning and evening class. There Sri Krishna has said, Swakarmana tam abhyarchya siddhim vindati manavaha. Swakarmana means we all have our respective karma duties. Everybody has some duty to do, without exception. If no duty, at least we have to take care of ourselves, we have to eat, we have to walk and speak and talk and do things. That's also duty. To take care of the body is a duty. If I don't have any work to do outside, if I am retired or unemployed, if I don't have a family, then I have to do my responsibility. But I have to take the responsibility to take care of I have to do my laundry, I have to prepare my food, I have to eat. Somebody gives it, I have to eat. Specifically, Sri Krishna mentioned these things in the Gita. Whatever work you do, either involving other people, animals, plants, things, or not involving anybody, yourself, because in me also God is there. Even if nobody else is there in my work, He is there here. I don't have to look for Him outside. So if I take care of this, I'm serving Him. I'm connecting myself to Him. So any work that we do, swakarmana, our respective duties. Swakarma means our duties. It changes with time. So karma changes with time, and for different people it is different at any given time. At this given time, everybody's duty is different. Tomorrow, what was my duty time may not be my duty tomorrow for you. So change. Whatever is my duty at any given time, if I do it as worship, keeping His presence in me and in others, if others are involved in the work. If not, at least in me. Keeping in mind His presence, if I do any work as worship, as offering. Worship means doing with love. Love and offering something with love, doing something with love. That becomes worship. That way, we can convert all our activity into puja, into worship. If you do that, then you're always worshipping God. He specifically mentions eating, because if you don't do anything else, at least I eat. That he says is also worship, because Bhagavan is present here in the person who is eating. If I am not feeding anybody else, if I am eating for myself, then also I am worshipping Him, because He is sitting there in me also. He is not absent here. But I should think of Him. I am offering it to Him. That His thought is important. I should be aware that I am worshipping. I am offering it to Him. Every food morsel I take into my mouth becomes an ahuti to Him. He is present here as the Agni. Specifically, He says in the Gita, If not, at least eat. That becomes worship. What can be simpler than that one? So in the 15th chapter, Sri Krishna says, Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashitaha. As Vaishwanara, I am present in bodies of all the pranis. Prani means living being, need not be human being. Animals, plants, they also need food. Wherever you offer food, either to yourself or to some other animal or plant or somebody else, you are offering it to him because he is present in all these things. So I have a friend, an American friend, who is a very close friend, and he somehow liked this idea. So he started doing two things. He started going to soup kitchens. He's a retired man, to serve as a volunteer. The soup kitchens he goes, he helps there in cooking, cleaning, serving. He does meals on wheels, once or twice a week. Then he became interested in gardening. He likes plants. So he did a course in gardening. He goes to public parks, gardens, and takes care of plants. He says that kind of worship he likes. He is not interested in ritualistic worship. He has no interest in ritualistic worship. He does not want to chant any mantra or devotional song. He is far away from those things. But this, he picked up this idea. He says, this gives me the greatest satisfaction. He goes to animal shelters. Their abandoned animals are there, dogs and cats and other pets. People have left them. He cleans their cages, gives them bath, gives them medicine, takes the dogs for a walk. He does all these things. So in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says that whatever you do to any being in this universe with love, that becomes worship. Even if you give a cup of water to a thirsty dog, you are worshipping him because he is there. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashitaha. He is not absent anywhere. All world is pervaded by him. That way, if you do everything as worship, you are always worshipping God. That comes in the Bhagavad Gita. Swakarmana dhamabhyarchya siddhim vindati manavaha. You are practicing the presence of God in all the beings, including inanimate objects. If you just do a simple thing, like taking this bag from here, keeping it here, you can do it as worship. Seeing the presence of the divine in that inanimate object, also specifically mentions in the Gita, is present in everything, including inanimate objects. Puranas, Upanishad, everything says same thing. Gita says simply, in simple language, other scriptures say the same. There is nowhere nothing where is absent is there. If you see his presence in all, every act becomes an act of worship. Shankaracharya said the same thing. Yajyat karma karomi tattadakhilam sambhotavaradhanam. Atmatvam girijamati. Atmatvam girijamati sahachara prana shariram gratam. Pujate vishayopabhogarachana nitra samadhisthiti. Sanchara padayo pradakshina vidhi. Stotrani sarvagiro. Yajyat karma karomi tattadakhilam shambhotavaradhanam. Every word I speak is his worship. Every step I take with my feet is his worship. Everything I do with my hands and feet is his worship. So this idea of doing everything as worship, if we just somehow put that idea into our minds often, then find ourselves worshipping him always. When am I not worshipping him? He said, Nitra Samadhi state. Even when I go to sleep, this kind of going into Samadhi. Shivansa Puja. Last sloka in Shivansa. So this idea is not new. It's been there in our tradition for a long time. But when you study Gita, it stands up prominently in relief. And Swami Vivekananda made it a very important point in his teachings. He says, even if you don't go to temples and meditate and do puja, go and do service to the poor people, to the villagers who don't have, or relief work to famine people, flood relief people, hospitals and schools, where you work, that's your puja. How much ritualistic worship can you do? How much mantra can you chant? How much meditation can you do? Go out and serve. That is worship. In any way we can. So our whole life becomes an unbroken stream of worship. We're doing our own duties as worship. You don't have to go anywhere else to do anything change. You don't have to change your profession. You don't have to leave your place, whatever you are doing for a living or anything. Wherever you are living, you're staying, same place, the same what, do same, but just in your mind think you are worshipping Him because you are serving Him in other people and within yourself. So I give 2 examples of how this has been done. This can be done. In the Mahabharata, Dr. Shah knows Mahabharata very well. He studied very much detail. There is a Dharmavyada story. Dharmavyada story is a detailed 4 or 5 chapters are there, I think. But a shorter version of the story comes in, has been told by Swami Brahmarupananda in the Karma Yoga book. One chapter is there. In the story, I just give the outline only because it's a long story and the main point is important. There was a young Swami, and he went to the forest to meditate, and he started doing meditation. He got some powers, and just the outline story. Then one day I was meditating under a tree, and some birds were making some noise, fighting among themselves, and they disturbed his meditation. The feathers and everything fell on his head. He became very angry, and he looked at the birds. He became angry. Why are they disturbing my meditation like that? He was proud of his meditation. I'm a Swami and meditator, God, like that one. So he became angry and cursed them, and the birds died. He became very arrogant. I have this power, I can do things. So with that arrogance, he got up and went for Diksha, just to beg for food. So he went to Diksha, means Madhukari, you go to 4 or 5 houses and ask for whatever they give, you eat, that's how you eat. So he went to one house and asked for Diksha. And the lady, mother who was inside the house, she said, "Oh Swamiji, please wait. I'm taking care of my husband serving. I'll come and give you Diksha. Please wait for it. For a little time, short time." And he waited, and she was taking time, and he became angry. How can she make me wait? I must serve her. She must serve me first. Then she can take care of other duties. So this arrogance was there, and he became angry. Why is she not coming and serving me? She's making me wait like this. Then the lady, she come out. She's from inside the house. She says, "Oh Sadhu, don't be angry. I am not the birds in the forest." So she said that one, he came asked, how does she know about the birds? Something happened in the forest. How did she know that I became angry at the birds like that one? Then he waits. Then she comes with the Diksha, sorry to make you wait. I have to take care of my husband who is sick. Give the Diksha. Then he asks him, "Mother, how did you know about the birds incident in the forest?" Then she says, "Swamiji, I don't know anything. As you see, I'm a housewife, cooking, cleaning, taking care of family. But you know this one?" Then he's saying, "Swamiji, if you want to know, in this town there is a Vyada meat selling person. You go to him. He can probably tell you." She says like that one. Then he becomes interested. How can a meat cutting person gave me all this. How did this lead, Then anyways he goes, because she told him to go. Goes looking for the meat cutter, Radha. And he sees a shop there. That man is cutting meat and selling to customers, before customers are there. And then as he was approaching the shop, that meat cutter said, "Oh Swamiji, that lady sent you here. Please come." How did this man know about the lady sent me? What are these people? He became very surprised, astounded, this Swamiji. But now he's learned to be patient. Oh, let me see. The other says, "Sir, please wait, I'm taking this care of the customers, I have to serve them. Then I'll close the shop, I'll take you to my home. And my parents are there, I will take care of them. I'll give you bhiksha, whatever I can." He said. So Sadhu waits. Now he's learned to be patient. He learns to be patient. Sadhu waits. The customer, the meat cutter sells the meat, sends the customers, takes the Sadhu home, makes him sit down and takes care of his parents and gives him bhiksha. Sadhu asks him, "How did you know that the lady sent me here? The lady knew about the person, you know about the lady. How did you get this knowledge?" Then the Vyada says, "Sir, I don't know. I have not studied any Shastra. I don't know Vedanta. I don't do any meditation, puja, nothing. I just do my duty. Whatever duty I do it as worship, with my love. I take care of my parents. I take care of my customers as worship. That's all I know." Like this, he gives detailed teachings are there. Dr. Shakir there. So this Dharma Vyada story main point is whether somebody is a housewife cooking, cleaning, or a meat cutter doing something. If any person does his own duty, Swadharma, as worship in the right spirit, that alone can give that person knowledge of God. Swakarmana tamam. That meat cutters do Swakarma was to sell meat and at home take care of parents, etc. The ladies Swakarma was to take cooking, cleaning, serving other people, family people, taking care of her duty. They all did them the right spirit as worship, as puja, as offering with the pure mind. That alone gave them knowledge. A short version stories in the Karma Yoga of Swami Brahmarupananda. That is one illustration. Story is a story, Mahabharata. That means by doing our respective duty without it doesn't have to be anything special. It can be a housewife, it can be a policeman, it can be a teacher, it can be a doctor, it can be a student, it can be somebody else, an airplane pilot, or whatever is our chosen profession, wherever God has kept us. To do that work, that duty, Swakarma, as worship of God, Swakarmana Tamabhyarcha, what happens? Sri Krishna says, what happens if you do that? Swakarmana Tamabhyarcha, Manava Siddhim Vindati. The word Siddhi or Samsiddhi comes 3-4 places in the Gita. In this particular place, chapter 18, verse 46, Sri Krishna and Shankaraja explains Samsiddhi in this way. If you do all our duties as worship, whatever duty it is, only exception we should not do Nishiddha karmas have worshipping God. Telling lies and cheating, stealing, that those have to be Nishiddha karma. That's first step in spiritual life to give those bad things. This karma you have to give. That's understood. Other than that, whatever is our duty, wherever God has kept us, there is no higher low in duty. I'll tell you a story of a sweeper later at the end of this one. A janitor can also achieve God realization. Now, Samsiddhi means Brahmanishta, Jignasa, Yogyata, Lakshana, Siddhi. In this way, Shankara's commentary is there. If you do all our duties with love, with devotion as worship, then what happens? Our mind becomes completely pure, free from all impurities, and will be able to inquire into the nature of Brahman. Brahma Jigyasa. Jigyasa means inquiry. Brahma Jigyasa, Yogyata, ability, qualification, eligibility to inquire about nature of ultimate reality, Brahman, Brahma Jnana, will come. mind will become completely pure. Knowledge of God will dawn in our hearts. Not only, one way to reach that is to do our karma, our duty. Whatever it happens with this moment, it may change. Tomorrow it can be different. Whatever happens to be my duty at this moment, if I do it is with love as worship, seeing His presence in all, that is alone enough sufficient to reach the ultimate goal of God realization. Swakarmana tamabhyarcha siddhim manam. It doesn't matter what kind of duty we have to do. Everybody cannot be presidents and CEOs and lawyers and doctors and engineers. Some people have to do this. Whatever duty has come to our Lord by choice or circumstances, however, if you do that as worship, with love, with devotion, that is all that is necessary to reach the highest goal of life. Other people can do meditation in the cave or a forest, Himalayas. Other people can do ritualistic worship, or they can chant stotras and hymns and devotional songs they can sing. But this is what I am doing. This is my worship. No person is excluded from this. Yajyat karma karomi tatadekhalam shambho tavaradhanam. Our saints have said the same thing. Our teachers have said the same thing. Our scriptures have said the same thing. Whatever duty we are doing, we're doing that as worship. That alone takes us to the highest goal of human life. All this comes in only one line in the Gita. Don't have to study the whole Gita also. You can get this idea from only one second line of 46 sloka. First line also you can disregard. That sloka has 2 lines. One second line is enough. Then one last point. The sloka in the Gita explains whom are we worshipping. Tamabhyasya, tam means him. Swakarmana, we're doing our duty as worship. Tam, worshipping him. Manava siddhi mindati, human being is perfection, highest goal. Whom are you worshipping? If you have the question, if you don't have the question, there is no answer needed. If you have the question, whom are you worshipping? The first line gives the answer. Yatah pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvam idam tatam. From whom this whole universe has come, the original Mahakarana, great cause, from God this whole universe has come. From whom this whole universe has come, by whom this is pervaded. Yena idam sarvam tatam. This pervading, this present in everything. That view is necessary. Whatever I am doing to whomever, including myself, I am doing it to him. The Bible, it says, Mataji gave me the reference from the Bible 2-3 years ago when I came and asked that question. Where in the Bible does it say? He says, Lord says, even the least of people, then whatever you do, you are doing it unto me. Same idea. Whatever we do to anybody reaches him. He's present in all. There is nothing that can be simpler than this method to reach the goal.